Go ahead, punk. Make my bidet. Or he could be promoting his new international crime procedural, CSI Ooh La La. Beware, Mr. Trump. If you take Greenland, France may start World War III.
It wasn't a single scandal. It wasn't one speech. And it certainly wasn't one controversial policy decision. According to many critics, the real issue was something far more draining. After a year, heavily defined by Donald Trump, countless Americans felt trapped in an endless cycle of headlines, where yesterday's outrage vanished the moment a new controversy emerged. Stephen Colbert captured that sentiment with a joke that felt less like comedy and more like collective fatigue. Every day seemed to introduce a fresh headline, another confrontation, a new controversy, or yet another distraction. From renaming public landmarks and organizing large-scale events to debates over citizenship, foreign affairs, and cultural issues, the relentless pace became a story in itself. Critics argued that this constant stream of attention-grabbing moments was no accident. When the news never slows down, yesterday's questions are quickly forgotten. Even significant controversies can fade before the public has a chance to fully process them. That led to a larger concern. Was the country becoming desensitized? On the anniversary of his return to office, Trump made an unexpected appearance in the White House press briefing room. The event immediately generated widespread headlines, though not necessarily for the reason.
Because every single day there's some new Trump horror dominating the headlines. Case in point, Trump invaded Venezuela a couple of weeks ago, seized their leader, and brought him to Brooklyn, and absolutely nobody's talking about it, not even me. That's weird. And it's probably the whole point. Today's maniacal criminality distracts us from yesterday's maniac crimes, which reminds me, where are the Epstein files?
The administration may have intended. Several media outlets described the lengthy remarks as unfocused, while commentators highlighted both Trump's accomplishments and his ongoing grievances. Once again, public attention jumped rapidly from one topic to another, reinforcing the exact pattern critics had been warning about. But the story didn't stop there. During the appearance, Trump highlighted his immigration agenda and praised efforts aimed at strengthening security in Washington. Yet much of the public conversation focused less on policy details and more on his comments and delivery. Late-night hosts quickly turned the moment into material for their shows. Social media erupted with reactions, and another round of political arguments followed. While Americans debated clips and headlines at home, a separate dispute was beginning to take shape overseas. Trump's focus had shifted toward Greenland, bringing with it discussions of tariffs directed at NATO allies and European partners. Unlike some previous trade disputes, European leaders appeared prepared to respond aggressively. Emergency meetings were reportedly convened, and officials discussed possible countermeasures. One phrase soon...
Diplomacy, and this will ultimately
this is
work.
Diplomacy with Donald Trump? He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. One or the other.
What?
Dominated the conversation. The trade bazooka. European leaders warned that they possessed tools capable of restricting imports, limiting investments, and reducing access to key markets. Economists, meanwhile, pointed out a difficult reality for American consumers. Tariffs are often paid domestically through higher costs, meaning businesses and families in the United States could ultimately bear much of the financial burden. What began as pressure directed at foreign governments increasingly looked like pressure that could reach American households, and tensions continued to escalate. Then the debate shifted from economics to something much larger, peace and diplomacy. Several European leaders reportedly attempted to ease the growing tensions. Among them was Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre. According to reports discussed by Colbert, Trump responded by referencing the Nobel Peace Prize and suggesting that he no longer felt obligated to view every situation strictly through the lens of peace. The remarks quickly drew criticism. To many observers, the comments seemed to go beyond traditional diplomacy and carried a more personal tone. As tensions mounted, world leaders gathered in Davos. There,
already taking swipes at Trump. Here's French President Emmanuel Macron, who was sporting a new accessory because of an eye condition.
We do believe that we need more growth, we need more stability in this world. But we do prefer respect to bullies, we do prefer science to plotism, and we do prefer rule of law to brutality.
Cool shades, bro.
Several European officials openly signaled resistance to what they viewed as pressure tactics. French President Emmanuel Macron defended the importance of science, stability, and adherence to the rule of law. Other leaders warned against yielding to political intimidation. Even California Governor Gavin Newsom entered the conversation with his own striking comparison, describing Trump's negotiating style in unusually dramatic terms. Suddenly, the discussion was no longer simply about Republicans and Democrats, or even the relationship between America and Europe. It had evolved into a broader argument about leadership itself, the balance between strength and restraint, confrontation and cooperation. That is where events became especially unpredictable, because history has repeatedly shown that political conflicts rarely remain confined to politics alone. Trade disputes affect workers, businesses, and families. International tensions influence alliances and global relationships. And words spoken in moments of frustration can create consequences that stretch far beyond a single news cycle. Supporters viewed Trump as a leader willing to challenge established global systems and confront long-standing institutions. Critics saw an administration fueled by conflict, disruption, and constant turbulence. Yet nearly everyone seemed to agree on one point: the world was watching. After a year marked by non-stop controversies, many Americans appeared increasingly worn down. Not because there had been one defining event, but because there had been so many, one headline replacing another, one controversy overshadowing the last, and one lingering question hanging over all of it. In a political era driven by constant attention and endless information, what happens when people simply grow tired? Perhaps that is the most important question of all. Governments change. Policies change. Headlines come and go. But public exhaustion can reshape an entire nation in ways that are often overlooked. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinion in the comments below.